What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Alex Cuesta Show. How's everybody doing out there on this Wednesday, March 13th of 2024 for episode 115? We are live. David is there. I am here.
I am here.
I'm rocking our the Lotus Eater shirt.
Oh, shit. I didn't even see it.
You know what I'm going to do? Actually, real quick, this is going to confuse people. I'm going to unmirror my video. I should have done this before. I want people to read my stuff.
Yeah, why would it be mirrored?
Oh, no, it's stupid. It goes that way. So, no, hi, we flipped. Hi, I'm here. But, yeah, we're here. We are doing our thing. We are excited. Before we jump into the fun stuff, if you like what you hear today, like, share, follow, subscribe, give us 5-star Spotify and iTunes. It's important that right now, if you are watching this on YouTube, if you are watching this on X, that YouTube, you hit subscribe and you share. If you're watching this on X, give us a retweet and, I guess repost, whatever the hell we want to call it now, and share this so that people can
help yourself. X is a stupid name. We all know it.
Yeah, we're calling it Twix. So do that and get more eyes here because we always have fun. So spread this word of mouth. And if you want to go look for us on the socials, just go and search the Alex Cuesta Show. We'll be there. You'll see the logo, all the crazy funky lines. So last week's show, we had a great time. We had our first ever live stream and we talked to Jamie Lashley, healthcare executive over at the TELUS Health Systems, and our cousin Danny popped on at the end. But lots of really good information there if you're curious about healthcare and the best way to optimize the use of your healthcare that you have. Go listen. Jamie was fantastic. This week we had a little bit of difficulties. Our guest had some personal stuff, so he couldn't come on. We are potentially getting people to jump on, maybe in a bit, who knows? But if not, it's just David and I for now. So if you want to turn it off, I would understand. No,
very much so.
Just kidding. Keep it going. Keep it here because we are excited to have you. So I want to jump right in, Dave. We're going to get sad to start this stream. Akira Toriyama, the person that was the creator of Dragonball, the creator of Dr. Slump, the creator of Sandland, and an artist on
one of the main factors in JRPGs being a thing, Dragon Quest.
Yes, Dragon Quest Chrono Trigger. Did so much, just tragically passed away at 68 years old. This is now about a week old, the information, right? I think Toriyama had passed away.
Hematoma, and I believe they said he had a brain tumor.
Yeah, so it's absolutely terrible that he passed. And I believe it was after the stream last week.
It was literally right after the stream. We were
right after the stream.
And I got fucking Dom Lucre of all people on Twitter. That's how I get the information.
And then you mention it to me. Yeah. And I'm just like that completely. I was feeling good, had a good show, and you completely and totally absolutely ruined the night by saying it. So, but overall, I think the only thing to do is to say thank you, right? It's in his passing, the only thing to do is to say thank you, because what else is there to do? The guy was so influential to so many people's lives. And I know to mine and to you, Dragon Ball has been a fixture essentially my whole life and your absolute whole life. So yes. I just want to, so we'll start off with you, Dave. What did Toriyama, his works, what did they mean to you?
I mean, everything. That's where I get my heroes from. That's where I get just, like you said, it's been a fixture my whole damn life.
Yeah.
So you can't really put into necessary words what his work did for me as a person. I mean, countless hours of watching DBZ, Dragon Ball, and even that fucking going to GT and Super, honestly. Even though GT's not canon. But you just go through everything that has to do with DBZ or with anything that he touched. And I don't know, it's just always been there in a sense. I remember even after it happened, after the show, when I said it, I even told you, I was like, it didn't feel, he was one of the people where it didn't feel like he would actually die. I never even thought, oh, Akira Toriyama could die. It was just a weird thing that was oh, wow, that actually happened. So he's just gone now. But,
I mean, it's so, and it's one of those things too. It's there's individuals that passed away lately, right? Like Stan Lee passed away lately. Miura from Berserk passed away.
Yep.
Stan Lee was old. We knew that it was going to happen at some point sooner than later. Miura was a surprise.
Yeah.
But he was a workaholic with Berserk and everything. Toriyama was just hitting his stride again with Dragon Ball, I feel, and was really starting to bring it back.
He
had a lot more help this time around.
When it came to like Dragon Ball Daima, the new series coming out, he said it himself in I think in an interview or something like that. But like he wasn't a part of it. Like it wasn't a big part of it at first. Like he was giving advice. Then more and more he gave advice, the more he just became a part of it because he was having so much fun just talking about it and doing stuff that now it just basically became another one of his babies. and he loves that series. So honestly, I wasn't interested in it when it first was announced, but now I'm at least going to give it a chance. I'm at least going to give it a chance.
Yeah. And, and it's like, for me, it meant everything, right? Like same thing for you. I remember at our house in Jersey, Broadway Boulevard, clearly going into the kitchen. And the first time, I don't even think I might have been in like second or third grade. And we added a little TV in the kitchen and we would turn on channel 9 at the time. That was WB channel. And I remember they would show like some cartoons, like Animaniacs and things like that. But if I got up early enough, Dragon Ball Z was on. And they would just replay like the first 13 episodes of like the Raditz arc.
Oh, cool.
And I just remember seeing that, and then it was like awesome, right? The intro was great. Rock the Dragon was one of the most badass things. Dragon. And it was just amazing. And then years later, Toonami now brings it on, and they decide we're going to play this series in full.
Yep.
And through the Cell arc. First it was initially only through Frieza. All we got was the Frieza arc. And and I just remember the way Toonami introduced it, the greatest action cartoon ever created. And like the way that they cut it, it really was. And then from there I was hooked. Read the manga. I've read the manga at least 3 or 4 times. From start to finish. I read Dr. Slump. I read everything Toriyama has written, which is great. If you want to go back and do something, what's fun if you're a Dragon Ball fan, go read all that stuff. All the characters that you see in there, a lot of them come into play into Dragon Ball somehow. Like Toriyama was amazing with that. But I mean, like you said, it gave us your shonen protagonist. He is the reason why these shonen protagonists exist as it does today.
The reason why like Oda and I can't remember Naruto mangaka name right now, but either way, he's the reason why they even like pursued what they pursued. He's the reason why multiple mangakas have pursued what they've done, and the reason like why they've built in their story these types of rival situations and everything like that. He is the reason for a lot of that, which is incredible to think about. And
when you get like a lot of these creators giving him credit, but you think, like you said, Oda and others like Luffy, Naruto, and all these other amazing protagonists that we know that were just aloof and pure and fun-loving and the never give up mentality. That's Goku.
Yep.
And they will tell you it's Goku, right?
Yeah.
You even have Toriko, which is about food, but he wears the orange and blue. Literally be Goku in the food world. So it's like it's just such an incredible legacy that he has. Now, in terms of like the other things, like I'm now scared as shit. I'm not gonna lie, Dave, because I know Disney has been hawking to try and get Dragon Ball. I am in fear that now that Toriyama is dead, his family might just be like, screw it, and sell it. And we've seen that far too many times. And I hope somewhere in his will that Toyo Toro gets to take it over, right? And maybe he loves it enough that he will keep it out of the dead, lifeless clutches of Disney.
I'm going to hold out hope that that it's not bought by Disney, or honestly bought by damn near any Western company at this point, because I think any of them is just going to ruin it.
I mean, it hurts, right? And I'm not a person that is really big on celebrities. I don't care about most of them, to be quite honest. I mean, when Michael Jackson died, I always liked Michael Jackson's music. So that to me, like, it wasn't something that like made me cry, but it did, like, it hit me. And there's other ones like Miura passing, like I love Berserk, so it was like we got like the re-chapters a year for 2 years. I knew there was something up. But with Toriyama, it's just different. Like he was in our lives. And I seeked out anything that he did, and anytime the word Dragon Ball came up, your ears perked up if you were a fan of anime, manga in general.
The incredible amount of lore that you just remember being a Dragon Ball fan, because I was talking to a coworker because he doesn't know much about Dragon. He never watched it. Yeah. And I was just talking about like Toriyama dying and stuff like that. And I just started all of a sudden like bringing out the lore and telling him where he really wanted to start if he wanted to and stuff, and just explaining everything to him. I was like, man, I know a lot. Like it shows how much love for a series is when you can really just sit there and pour out as much as, I mean, I did in that moment, as much as everyone else probably did when they just started talking after Toriyama's death.
And, you know, and to the point where it's like, his influence is, I don't know, it can't be overstated. Just how incredible this individual was to even Western audiences, because, you know, a lot of people might say, you know, Fist of the North Star was one of the first ones to really break through in the West. Astro Boy, Akira, Gundam, the original.
Initial D a little bit. I mean, Ghost in the Shell.
But not.
That was after.
And, you know, and they kind of, you know, they were starting to, but nothing kicked the doors in quite like Dragon Ball did. And all thanks to Toonami and Cartoon Network taking that chance. And, you know, there were other things on there. There was Sailor Moon, there was Gundam at the time, but nothing hit like Dragon Ball. And I think it's also the message, right? It's the message that Toriyama was trying to portray when it came to Dragon Ball. It was the never give up, always surpass your limits, stay pure, fight for what you believe in, defend your friends. Like, Goku is very simple. Always try to get stronger, always try to get better, and, you know, defend your friends. Like, don't leave them out to dry. So, you brought something up, Dave. What do you got?
Yeah, it's the old Stone Toss comic. But I mean, he's making a point here, but I'm really making the point of literally everyone saw themselves in Goku. Every guy wanted to be Goku. Maybe you liked Vegeta, but you had a character that you loved, and you wanted to be that character. You felt like you could be that character, and you were willing to prove to yourself that you could become as great as that character was.
And it was kind of like the first nerdy thing in terms of like an anime that people were willing to defend. Like, a lot of people tried to hide their D&D. A lot of people tried to hide even Naruto fans and things like that.
You had to hide your D&D.
You had to, yeah.
You literally had to hide that.
But when it came to Dragon Ball, it was like the first thing that maybe you'd get poked fun at, but it was Dragon Ball. And everyone just kind of let it go. Like, everyone expected dudes to kind of like Dragon Ball, even if they weren't anime fans. Everyone knew what a Kamehameha was. Everyone knew going Super Saiyan. Like, everybody knows what, you might not know what it's from, but these are the type of things that you know what they are.
Goku is one of the most recognizable faces in pop culture. Like, not even his face, his hair. Anyone could see that hair, and they probably know it's Goku's hair.
And you know, and the thing is too, I don't think it is a stretch to say that Akira Toriyama's reach of international, you know, culture is as big as someone like the Beatles, someone like an Elvis, someone like, because it transcends so many things. In Japan, Goku is the most popular character in all of their mediums. They have statues to Goku. Could you imagine if we had a statue? Like, our statues would probably be to like Batman, like in terms of like Western, like, and that would be kind of Superman, maybe Spider-Man. Like, those would be the equivalents, but they still pale in comparison to the popularity of Goku.
Yeah.
It was popular in Japan for grown-ass men to still walk around with like Goku stuff on and be just fine. It's getting to that point here, and I think we're going to start to see a lot more Dragon Ball stuff. And, you know, I missed an opportunity. I should have wore Jeff's shirt here. I don't know what I'm doing. But I missed an opportunity here, but still. But it's just, I don't know. It can't be overstated.
Yeah.
Just
you can only say, and you could have a whole show about it.
And we can really dissect it. Now, one thing I do want to ask you, what do you think is the future of the Dragon Ball Super manga, Dragon Ball Daima? And, you know, and
I mean, Toyotaro was the next guy up anyway. It just rushed. He's probably not exactly ready. At least he might not even feel ready. As ready as he might have felt before. He just probably didn't expect this. But I don't know. I feel like he'll do fine. Toriyama put faith in him for a reason. So it's on to Toyotaro, and I'm full support of whatever the hell he wants to try to do with it. I mean, it won't be Toriyama's Dragon Ball, but I feel like he'll at least show it the proper respect and try to make it as good as it can possibly be.
And the thing is, too, it's like, I don't know how he can do it like Toriyama because the comedy, right?
Yeah.
That was the thing that set him apart from everyone else, was the comedy that he was able to do. And now people might say, like, the comedy didn't age well, but I don't care.
Yeah.
It was never, Dragon Ball was meant to be a spoof of Journey to the West. That was its purpose initially. The original Dragon Ball, that's why Son Goku is based off of Sun Wukong.
Yeah.
And all the people that he meets with the Ox King, with Oolong, they are all different parts of Journey to the West. Now, it didn't get into the sci-fi until you get into Dragon Ball Z, where it kind of expands. Goku becomes an alien. They go to space. And that's when the Dragon Ball Z that everybody kind of knows in America is where that came from. But initially,
Dragon Ball was
a full-on adventure.
It was a romp, dude. Yeah, like he's going and doing everything.
He's going and doing everything. It was an adventure manga about this aloof boy in the woods that knows nothing about the world. Like, the funny joke in the beginning was Goku didn't know the difference between a boy and a girl. And he would pat them to see if there was a dick there. Like, he did it to Bulma in the beginning. He beat the crap out of him. He did it to Chi-Chi, and she threw her little blade thing at him. It's like, did it to Krillin. Krillin's like, what is wrong with you? Like, And I remember one of the things that original Quest, Roshi sends them to go find a perfect girl. And he's like, well, how will we know? And he's like, don't pat anybody. Like, Krillin's like, don't do that. I'll figure this out. But it's those minor little jokes about the naivete of this woods kid that kept you coming back. And you got to remember, like, the thing is, people that know Dragon Ball, go read Dr. Slump. His original way of making money was poop jokes and gag money. So, just how far he came in so many ways. It's, again, like you said, we could do a whole show, and maybe one day we will go and we'll talk to, we'll find some, maybe I know Slow on Twitter, Slow Plays. He is a massive Dragon Ball guy. There's some people, maybe
we could just do a whole Dragon Ball bullshitting show. Just
I feel like G Prime will come on. G Prime's an anime fan. We might be able to get, like, we'll see if we can get like a Dragon Ball panel. And we could talk maybe like Dragon Ball and anime stuff, because even I think G Prime did a nice little sketch.
He did. I should find that.
I'd say go find that, because G Prime, George Alexopoulos is
great artist.
Yeah, great artist coming out.
Most of the Badlands coming out soon with him and Razor Fist.
And behind me, right there behind me, we have Goofberry Pie. Goofberry Pie right there, which is his children's book. I recommend everybody go, if you have kids, go buy Goofberry Pie. It's incredible. Wholesome, great little thing about a mouse trying to find ingredients for a pie. It's amazing. But this was it right here, Dave.
There's a little sketch. It's gorgeous.
It's amazing. And it's young Goku on Flying Nimbus with Toriyama's sprite behind him. I mean, you can't get better than that. And it was well done, G Prime. If we don't move on,
we'll just keep going.
I don't think we'll ever move on. So I want to, before we jump into something new, I just want to thank anybody watching right now. If you're watching, please repost, give a like, tell your friends, give a share, because we're done being sad for a little bit. We will jump in and we will do something a little more fun. So maybe not fun, because this is, I don't know. Would you consider our next topic to be fun?
I believe so. If I know what the next topic is.
GamerGate.
Yes, it is fun.
So
it is fun.
You know a little more probably about the GamerGate. I remember. So I will give all credit to my GamerGate knowledge. Stuttering Craig, side scrollers. Thank you guys. All of my GamerGate
full episode.
I watched like most of it, and it's just
Dev does a good job. Dev does a good job.
Dev does a great job. Gabe does a great job there. Also giving his insight from the comic world. So yeah, go ahead, Dave. Give us a little short, brief explanation.
If you're going to go over the first GamerGate 10 years ago, really it was about a guy comes out with a post about his ex-girlfriend and how she was sleeping with a bunch of guys. She's a game dev. She was sleeping with games journalists and people in parts of game jams and stuff like that, just to get her game pushed.
And she was cheating on this guy, and I think the number was she cheated on him over hundreds of times in 6 months. You didn't hear that wrong.
Hilarious.
Hundreds of times in 6 months.
Yeah, but I mean, this is going to be like a very brief explanation of GamerGate. Yeah. But that turned into basically going through and people combing through what showed up to be huge corruption in gaming journalism. Really turned out to be all of journalism, but huge corruption in gaming journalism and gamers being like, what the fuck is this? Why is this a thing? Why aren't you actually coming down on people that are doing this?
Yep.
And then gaming journalists and honestly, a bunch of gaming companies just not caring, saying gamers are dead and trying to shoo them away. And because they had most of the power and information, it basically went their way. The gamers had maybe some wins in battles, but overall, I would say they had their way because we now have Sweet Baby Inc. and a bunch of other consulting companies. That leads into GamerGate 2.0.
Yep.
Now, GamerGate 2.0 has started what? Really been going
Dev would say it's not GamerGate 2.0.
Yeah,
he said we need a new name because this is now the fourth game.
Yeah, that is true. But it's just a continuation of everything that's been going on, especially since that kicked off. But really, this all started because Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League is a terrible fucking game. That's one of the big reasons this all started.
I forget the guy's name that Kentaku that did the stream community that has 100. Cabrutus. That's what. Sorry, what's your name?
Yeah. So there is a big hubbub about the way the heroes were treated in Suicide Squad, especially Batman. And because the game is fucking awful in every right, even the gameplay looks terrible. If you enjoy it, then go ahead and enjoy it. But I just don't think it looks good at all. And
the gameplay's bland. Everyone has the same moves. It's everyone, they just switch skins.
And every boss, you just shoot them the whole time.
So it's little special to them, but it's all the same shit.
Yeah. But either way, that game is terrible, and that basically shone the spotlight on one of the groups that was consulting on this, Sweet Baby Inc. And people started digging a little bit, and Cabrutus, as you brought up, on Steam, just started a Steam curator list called Sweet Baby Inc. Detected, where it takes from their public website all the games that they worked on, puts it in the Steam curator list, and says, I don't recommend this because I don't like what they're doing. I don't like what their mission statement is. And, you could just take it for what it is. He doesn't even recommend it. You don't have to care what Cabrutus says. But if you allow me to share my screen.
Go for it.
Let me make sure it is the right one. Yep. So we have here, this is really what kicked off a lot of the shit that happened. And everything I'm sharing is from Kyle on Twitter. Kyle has been great on this. He's actually been on Sweet Baby Inc. for a while, probably longer than a lot of people. But Chris Kindred works at Sweet Baby Inc. Said, anyway, report the fuck out of this group, the Sweet Baby Inc. Detected, and report the creator since he loves his account so much. Now, this kicked off everything where people are like, whoa, you're the one starting a harassment campaign here. You're the one trying to get someone kicked off of Steam and get his group destroyed, all because he's saying Sweet Baby Inc. worked on these things. Well, if you were proud of what you did, you might just say, look, those are games we worked on. They're pretty cool. So
I forget someone actually came out. I forget who came out and said that actually quote tweeted and is like, this is what someone who is scared of being known does. If you're proud of your work, fucking stand by it. And that's the thing. That these individuals know they're putting out shit. That they know that they are putting out ideological stuff, not things that are there to entertain. They did not make Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League as a fun and here's the thing, the concept could be fun, right? It could be a fun concept.
Could be okay.
Scarecrow or someone, there's plenty of great villains that can maybe mess with their heads or, there's plenty of awesome villains that could do great things like that to the Justice League. And that Suicide Squad in some alternate universe needs to play the hero, right? We even saw in Injustice when they go in different places. You can do fun things like that, but it has to be done well. The fact that there's no multiplayer, I was thinking when this first came out, Dave, I was thinking, it could be like an Ultimate Alliance type of thing. You choose a character, the other three are there.
There's also a live service game, which is probably going to die before the year ends up anyway.
I think there's 200 people playing.
Yeah,
there was 200 people playing. And that on that stream, on the Side Scrollers pod, which I highly recommend, Stutter and Craig's Side Scrollers pod, fantastic. Mm-hmm. On that stream, when they were talking about it, the original, what was it? Not original Fallout. I forget what Borderlands, the original Borderlands.
Yes, you're right.
More players, and that is a game that I think is 16 years old now, had more players on it than Suicide Squad.
Yep.
That is a damning thing for you if you are a creator. And I understand why they're angry, right? Because it's just ridiculous that we're seeing this. And, you know, Gabe brought up what was going on there and what he thinks in terms of that this is all a Marxist infiltration, right? And we've talked about these things here. This is what they do. They always find the revolution. They always go to try and break the status quo. These individuals joining the gaming world did not join the gaming world to create better games, to create things that everyone can enjoy, to take characters that we know and love and put their spin on them, but put their spin on them in a good way, right? In a creative way that at least if we disagree, we could be like, we don't like it, but it's still decent, right? I think we've all seen that. No, they do it to move the message. That's why you make Poison Ivy a child and refer to a pedophilic thing with Harley hitting. That's why you make Harley and Poison Ivy lesbians to fucking begin with in the comic. Like, it is such a blatant and obvious thing. And like the thing is, the fake, and I hate the fake fans. There's a lot of fake fans out there that are like, this is great. We want this. There isn't a single comic book fan that wants anything that's going on right now in the comic book world.
And you know, you want to take them, even if you were to take them at like their best interpretation of why they want to do these things. They're the best interpretation of why they would want to do these things is because they're terrible writers and they only see themselves in things, and it doesn't work at any time when they write this shit because these heroes and these people, these characters have their own kind of personalities, and it doesn't work when you just write yourself as these characters. No, but with that best interpretation, you still want them out of there because they're ruining the franchise. So it doesn't matter whether or not you take them at the best faith you could, or whether or not you just think that they lie all the time because they do.
And I've said this before. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Nobody needs to see themselves in heroes. You don't. No one watches heroes to see themselves. That no real person that enjoys it. Because I watch a hero to see something I may aspire to want to be, right? And that's why they're interesting, because they are better than us. And maybe these people, maybe these people do think they're better than us, right? So maybe that's why. But you want to see heroes do shit that normal humans can't do in a fantastical way. You want to see heroes not struggle to the same things that humans do, which I hate the humanizing of all heroes. Like, there was the few that had it and they did it well. Batman did it a little. Peter Parker was very well known for doing it in Spider-Man, but they were the exceptions because they were interesting outside of their superhero persona. Some heroes don't belong there. Shazam, I don't give a fuck about Shazam. Outside of him being a kid, becoming a god, acting like a child as a god, but being able to rival Superman in powers. I actually don't care about Superman very much outside of him banging Lois, and that's it. That's his only side of his personal life I care about. There's very few characters, but now it's like every character needs a backstory. Every character needs to be relatable. No, they don't. So, I don't need to see myself in anything. I don't need to see a part Ecuadorian, part Italian dude as a hero that can't speak any of them. Like, I don't need that. It's so fucking stupid.
So I wanted to make you mad.
Please do. I think that's hard.
No, you'll be mad. Don't worry about it.
I figured I will.
This right here. Same guy. The day Toriyama died, Toriyama gave.
I remember seeing that. And G Prime commented that, and it's like, it's unfucking necessary, right? Like, the best and worst black characters in anime in the same time. Like, number one, Japan doesn't give a shit. And that's what people need to realize. And this is why Japan is still able to make really good stuff. They don't care if you're offended. They are going to write things that fit within their context. Now, you got to remember, Toriyama started writing this in the 80s. started writing this, and this was popular in the 80s. So yes, did he make guys in blackface all the fucking time? But does it matter? No. Because all that mattered was the roles of characters played. And for people to sit there and do this type of stuff just goes to show that they actually don't care about any of the work. They weren't watching it for that purpose. They're watching it to be stupid.
And just the absolute fucking gall on the day of the man's death, the stones, to just say that like that's a normal thing to say about someone's work.
And then also, I love, like, they want to sit there and they want to, like, put this race into that. Okay. But then they sit there and they're like, oh, but you know Piccolo was black. No, he wasn't. He was a Namekian, you fucking idiot. Like, he wasn't. Like, let's be honest. Everyone's like, oh, if Piccolo was a human, he'd be black. Why?
Because it was fit in the driving episode. That's why.
I guess. I guess maybe that would be it. I don't know. Like, you guys are claiming a slug. What the fuck's wrong with some of you? like honestly, like, this is like the dumb stuff. Like, no, Piccolo was a alien from Namek. That's all he was.
I don't know what you're talking about, man. Starfire was a black chick too. So we're gonna keep this moving on. After everything really started kicking off, we had this written by Kotaku, by Alyssa Mercante, who don't go and harass her. I will always say, don't go and harass people.
Yeah, don't go and harass anybody.
Yeah.
It's not the way we do things.
Yeah. But yeah, she made this article. And by making this article, she actually went into the Discord group of Sweet Baby Inc. Detected and tried to get their personal info, you know, try to get all this stuff out of them so she could write a hit piece. And, of course, going with the ideology that is normal for these people, you can't be racist against white people. It's just the way they always seem to think. They like to have the power in order to be able to say these things, in order for you to not be able to fight back.
Now, there was also that individual, I remember them talking about Lego Butt. And Lego Butt was one of the people that was involved in the campaign to try and...
former lover of Zoe Quinn.
Yes, who was the person who was Gamergate 1.0. And, I mean, and Lego Butt's very similar in the same sense, where you go back to... And now, Lego Butt's a girl. But it's a girl that now wants to be a dude. So Lego Butt's a girl. So if you look, you'll see a guy-ish type of thing. It's a girl. And they were just disgusting humans back in the day. And like the things that they said, dropping N-bombs and all that type of stuff, it's par for the course with these individuals though, right, Dave? Like it is absolutely par for the course that they want to sit there and go and take all of our speech, tell us what we can and can't say, while them being the most despicable people around and saying whatever they want, doing whatever they want. And it's just, I don't know. You want to say that they're not self-aware, but it's intentional. They are self-aware. They just don't give a shit.
Yeah, no, that's why I usually just say that they're liars. They're liars and they like power. And this is one of the ways that they can hold power over you, is by saying these things and acting like you can't go against them because they're the ones that are somehow helpless, so they are able to hold a cudgel against you. So I just wanted to add this on because I think Kyle is actually very funny, and I want him to get some love for this because, like I said, he's been on this for a while, so I'm going to play this real quick. He does shit like this all the time.
Yes. It'll take a second. It's going to come on soon. Oh, we can't hear any of the sound.
Oh, you can't hear it?
No, why can't we hear the sound?
Oh, boy.
Hold on. What's going on here? What are you doing, Dave?
I don't know.
We should be able to hear the sound. We heard the sound in the last one you did.
It's definitely on. Let's see.
Oh, no. Boom.
It might be Twitter, honestly.
It's Twix?
It might be Twitter. Either way.
Here, we'll see if maybe I can share it. So you continue.
Either way, go give Kyle a follow on Twitter. And I mean, even watch some of his YouTube videos. He's pretty funny. And he just has a good time calling all this shit out. But yeah, GamerGate 2.0 is happening. It is continuously happening. There are more and more articles coming out trying to say either Sweet Baby Inc. doesn't do the thing you think it does, or there is now a harassment campaign against Sweet Baby Inc. employees, which is untrue. And this is going to keep happening because of the same playbook as GamerGate 1, which is ignore, deny, claim you're a victim, and then try to just withhold the information of anything that happened prior to whatever you're trying to make yourself out to be a victim for. And the good thing is that now those that are against people who are completely corrupt actually have the ability to get this information out there on Twitter. Community Notes is kicking their ass, which is
absolutely destroying them.
Grums is on a fucking warpath on Twitter. He has been great, former game dev. And it's right now, I would say there is a turn here. There is a bit of a turn here. Now, a turn where it's like, gaming companies may turn and not use these consulting firms anymore. I don't know about that. I don't really believe they can change very much right now. No. They have too many people in there that are going to force this kind of ideology, and they're going to keep getting these kind of consulting companies. Sweet Baby Inc. may dissolve, but those people just go on somewhere else. Right now, you just kind of have to work through indies. And the good thing is that the AAAs kind of suck right now, and the indies are kind of great right now. You had Lethal Company come out. Lethal Company it's a hilarious game, a lot of fun with friends.
Yes.
And the newest one, Helldivers 2, incredible game. Lots of bugs, both literally and also affecting the gameplay. But it looks great. The gameplay is incredible, especially when you have a full squad, and just going out there and trying to destroy everything and survive in Helldivers 2 is some of the most fun I've had in a while gaming. So we have our options here.
Definitely.
And the good thing is that you could just keep going through them and really ignore a lot of AAA stuff as long as you enjoy those types of indie games.
Why am I struggling finding this video on Kyle's page?
I don't know. I don't know why you're struggling so much. Either way, though.
Every day I'm struggling.
Either way, though, when it comes to GamerGate 2.0, if you want to help out, either talk about it or, as Grumps pointed out on Twitter, you could get into community notes.
Yes.
And make sure you are correcting these people.
I encourage anybody. I admit I'm too much of an ass and lazy to get into it. But if you have the time, have the ability, have the wherewithal to know what you're talking about, to correct them, correct them.
Yep.
Because and absolutely go on there, because the battle is there to make sure that free speech is upheld on X. It's also there to check when Elon Musk fucks up. It checks him constantly too. So the power of community notes, that's like kind of the next spot to battle right now.
Yeah.
It's right there.
And the best part about it is that you don't even need to be that well read on a lot of this stuff, because they are so consistent in their lying, so consistent in their omissions, that it's so easy to tell and easy to just bring up where they're omitting something, where they're lying about something. And they're so used to having the power that no one can really correct them, because they just put the article out and you can't really rebut it.
Yep.
That they don't know, they're not any better at lying right now.
No, they're awful at lying right now. It's they can't lie, because the thing is, there's too many gurus out there.
They're doing it. Are lying.
But you get on 4chan, you get on Reddit. When the autists get to it, it's done. Like when they get to it, then it's over. Because
autistic,
huh?
Reddit's a different type of autistic.
They are, but bottom line is, once they get to it, it's over. They go and they're sleuths, and they're everyday people. You just don't know who they are. And they go and they figure out all this stuff, and they help expose all this stuff. And it's like, so they can lie, but I don't know. Is this it?
I don't know. Is it?
My favorite part is the Sweet Baby.
You are having the toughest time right now. Oh, I hear something.
Yes, there it is. Okay.
Go ahead, pull it up.
Let me share this.
Go ahead and pull it up.
And hopefully we can all hear it.
I heard something.
Okay. So can you see the screen?
No.
Boom. Let me add this. Boom. Okay.
There it is.
Here, right?
Yep.
So let me know if you can hear it. I hope everyone at home can hear it.
Journey through time and space.
Yeah.
Kept trying to tell you Sweet Baby hated you, but do you know who Sweet Baby hates the most? Well, anybody normal mostly, but also white males. Cis white males. You mean straight white males. Young white males. Rich white males. Rip them up. Ooh, white males. Make them mad. White males. You about to get a paraplegic. You about to get more diverse. You about to get paraplegic. Vitiligo inside my purse. Look at those wannabe titties. You about to need a wet nurse.
And that was just a preview. If you want, definitely go on to Kyle's YouTube and follow him because he is fantastic. He does great work, and that's just a taste. But that, yeah, he's not wrong.
He showed the Sweet Baby Inc. group on Steam where it was there. It's 86,000. I believe it's over 250,000 now.
It's over 250K.
Yes.
And again, and these are the people that were sitting there, not the people in the Steam, but there were a bunch of people saying, like, this is dead, right? And they're back to that kind of thing. Like, we need modern version of gaming. We need to have these things in gaming. And these groups, 250K people is not a small number.
It's one of the biggest. It's one of the biggest curated groups on Steam.
And the thing is, you'll have individuals that go in there to infiltrate, right? So maybe let's say 1,000 are in there to infiltrate, right? I think that's a safe number. That there's some people, they're going to be drowned out, caught. And it's very easy now to do. And it's things like this that give people courage, right? To stand out against this shit, to stop playing the game, to stop allowing people and individuals to tell you that you're wrong for just wanting to go and enjoy content without bullshit in it. And again, don't get me wrong. We've all taken a little bit. We've always known that a lot of creatives are on the left. There are a bunch of them that are leftists, but they used to be so much better about just maybe throwing a bone in there, about just, maybe one
Not
little
even that. At least the game should be good.
Yeah.
At least give me a game that's fun. Yes. Like something.
And here's the thing. And the thing is, too, what we need to realize is before all this shit was coming to light, before it was popular to put your political opinions or your other opinions in there, a lot of this shit was made by leftists already. A lot of the good games, the games that you love, were made by people that think very much in the line of communists and Karl Marx, a lot closer to that than, someone on the right would. And they were making good games, and they were maybe subtly putting in messages in there. And you kind of look past it because you're like, well, this game's fucking fantastic. I could deal with a little bit of activism as long as it's not the whole thing, right? We look past a ton. But now it's like they're making full games about it, and they are messing with our favorite properties. I think that's also the big issue. Yep. They're not sitting there making them standalone games that they created. It's their individual property. No, they're coming in to go after DC stuff. They're coming in to go after all the things that we love in every which way. And, people are standing up to it, and I love seeing that. And I love seeing all the, there are more and more former comic book writers and things like that are breaking away and, either going, with the Rippaverse, going with Ethan and joining Comicsgate or, doing those types of things that are great to just have a pushback against the norm. And there's a huge community out there that wants to see this type of stuff. So, Dave, anything else on Comicsgate 2.0 that you want to...
You mean GamerGate 2.0.
GamerGate, God, not Comicsgate. Sorry, Ethan.
No, not really, but we can see the transition in people's opinions on things when we look at the Oscars.
Yes.
Because look at what won the Oscars. I mean, there wasn't much of a choice, to be quite honest.
No,
Oppenheimer took a lot of things.
I'm happy the boy and the heron won. That they won. Then there was no choice. The fact that Studio Ghibli continues to sweep up that category every time it comes out maybe is the only saving grace of the whole thing.
But Oppenheimer just destroyed that night.
Oh yeah.
But really, the biggest moments in the Oscars that happened was Ryan Gosling singing "I'm Just Ken," which I still haven't watched, but he's singing "I'm Just Ken."
I only saw that song. I didn't see Barbie, but I just saw that song.
Mm-hmm.
It's so stupid. It's entertaining. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
like,
no doubt.
And Ryan Gosling.
He throws himself into that role, man. He's giving it his all.
And I know you saw the movie, and my wife showed me that because she's like, I know you're probably not going to like the movie, but at least watch this.
Yeah.
And she watched it because she's like, I promise they were not supposed to be smiling at these moments. Like, they definitely probably broke character at points, and they did it enough times that the directors were like, we just have to go with something here, guys.
Yeah.
Because it is good fun. That song is funny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that was one of the biggest moments. Arnold and DeVito up there calling Michael Keaton a son of a bitch as Batman because he beat him to both. And it played the role perfectly.
Yes.
That was beautiful, which I don't know if you saw. Someone put up a little side-by-side of Keaton and Bruce from Batman Beyond, like in the anime, and how perfect he would be as old Bruce and Batman as a Batman Beyond movie.
Give me Keaton as old man Bruce, or give me Ben Affleck like he's already there. Give me Batman.
And Keaton would be perfect. Keaton would be literally perfect.
Ben Affleck's Batman is underrated, though. We need more of it.
But I'm just saying, age-wise and everything, Keaton's right there. Keaton can just jump into that role. You saw it right there in the Oscars.
Yeah.
But that moment was big. And then the last moment, which is also literally the last moment of the show, was Kimmel getting completely fucking baited by Trump because Trump put out a fucking post on Truth Social. Terrible name. I don't know why he made that the name of the app.
Because it's always the truth. You're telling truths, bro.
So fucking stupid. But put out a post on there.
What's worse, truth or X?
I want to say truth. Fuck, they're both bad, man. They're both awful.
And then the one that's actually pretty good, Parler, gets destroyed. Parler is actually pretty decent of a name.
Parler got a raw deal, man. They got a raw fucking deal.
Parler got it raw.
I don't know if they would have survived, but they got fucking destroyed.
Yeah, and you know what? And the thing is, too, it's like, we can kind of go off on a tangent because a place like Parler would have gotten fucked after the bill that was passed today anyway by the House. Now, I hope it's going to go through the Senate because they're all retarded. Mm-hmm. But the bill that, quote unquote, bans TikTok. Now, let's talk about what this does real quick. For anyone that's celebrating this bill, you're a fucking moron because it doesn't ban TikTok. It forces ByteDance to sell to an American company. Mm-hmm. Now, you could cheer this part, right? Because we all agree ByteDance being a CCP company is not a good thing. But me being the nerd I am, watched on C-SPAN some of the back and forth debate with Thomas Massey leading the rebuttal, leading the nays. And there were a few individuals, I forget which one it was, that brought up, and he's just like, listen, I forget who it was. It was a pretty well-known House member. But he said, getting ByteDance to sell does not solve the problem because a lot of the way companies get their information is third-party data brokers now. There's nothing from stopping China from still fishing our information that we all willingly give, right? This is going on YouTube. I have a Facebook. David has a Twitter or Facebook. We're giving our information anyway. All of it's getting sold third-party. So it is just something that it's not good for that sense, right? But, you might want to cheer that ByteDance is going to have to sell or give up the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
What you don't want to cheer is this bill also gives future presidents the ability to force other social media companies to do the same that they think is a national security risk. Now, what is stopping, if this passes, what's stopping Joe Biden from forcing Elon to sell? They've already claimed that he's a Russian asset. Russia's at war. We're at war with Russia. What is stopping them from saying that they have to sell? What is stopping them from going to Rumble and saying Rumble has to sell? Because YouTube and Rumble fall under social media in terms of Section 203. So this is a slippery slope that Republicans got roped into because they're idiots, and they all are fucking idiots on the Hill mostly. But this is not a good bill. And there's more things in that bill that's also pretty bad. Like, that's what people need to realize. If you ever read a headline about a bill, know that there is so much more in it. And that's why it's terrible. Now, I hope and pray that there is some logic in the Senate, but I guarantee it's going to pass like 70-30 because they're fucking morons. And the surprising thing, Dave, there were 65 nays, I think it was, in the House, mostly Democrats.
Horses.
Mostly Democrats. I'm agreeing with Sheila Jackson Lee. What the hell's wrong with me? But she's right. I mean, it's dumb. That's my aside. It's fucking stupid.
Yeah, I don't know how we got to this topic. Bringing it back to the Oscars, we're seeing a big turn in the environment here because the Oscars, the reason why I brought up Kimmel, the Oscars was mainly non-political. What?
We were talking about Truth Social.
Yes. It was mainly non-political until Trump baited Kimmel, and Kimmel went out there and made himself look stupid by telling a bad joke. So overall, the attitude seems to be somewhat changing, at least in the public.
You leaving out John Cena running around naked? Promoting his OnlyFans?
I don't care about that. I'm not going to lie to you.
Oh, we're going to get off on a side again real quick.
Oh, my God.
We mentioned GamerGate, we're talking comics. DC. How is Peacemaker Season 2 canon and Peacemaker Season 1 not canon?
I don't know.
Peacemaker Season 2 is following directly Peacemaker Season 1.
I don't know.
Peacemaker Season 1's in the Snyderverse, while Peacemaker Season 2 is not, even though they're James Gunn. Everyone's putting faith in you. I think you might be a retard. This is one of the dumbest things. Just make both canon. This isn't hard.
I don't... Well, really, he should have just fucking slashed the show or something like that. But he kept it. And I don't know why exactly. I don't know. It's a weird fucking conundrum. But apparently it is very true. Gunn said it himself that Season 1 is not canon.
On Twitter. You put it in our friend.
Yeah, I know. It was on Instagram, actually. But
reboot it. Just reboot the whole show. Like, they make it Season 2, but just have him wake up from a fucking coma and Season 1 was a dream and then move on. That's how you do that. You don't just be like, wow, we're just going to continue the story, but now this part's a real part. Like, why do they just think we're dumb? Why do they just... And is it fair, Dave, that I have the fear that everyone's putting their faith in James Gunn and we're just going to get a whole bunch of Guardians of the Galaxy type of humor like they did to the MCU?
So, So that wasn't him, to be fair. He did it with Guardians, but MCU wrote that. Gunn didn't just do that. Like, with Guardians, it was good. He didn't just do that to every movie because he didn't have control of every movie in MCU. I don't think he'll do that for every movie in DC, but I don't know if he'll stay true to some of the characters' leanings because he didn't really stay true to Guardians at all. Guardians weren't accurate, comic book accurate, but we'll see. I don't necessarily have a lot of faith, mainly because DC was already broken. It was already a hot mess you're jumping into, and then you kind of it hasn't really had given faith that it's gonna be good. Especially, I mean, making a Superman movie to start it, good idea. That's a genuinely good idea. I mean, it's a normal one, but it's a good idea.
And if you do it well, it could set up everything.
Yes. But having like a million cameos, which I'm pretty sure it's having a whole bunch of other heroes and stuff in there, if I remember correctly hearing news about it, is not a good idea. It should be a Superman standalone film, and then you build from there. But we'll see.
It's like they didn't learn anything from Marvel. They tried to be them. They failed terribly. Mm-hmm. And it's like you don't learn. Mm-hmm. And, and the thing is, too, it's like maybe not starting with Superman would be a good thing because Iron Man was a popular hero, but Iron Man wasn't the main hero of Marvel. And
yes,
what Marvel did was they were patient, right? They were patient and they gave you the main pieces of the Avengers before they introduced them. And
so Marvel kind of fell into it. Marvel kind of fell.
Iron Man was going to be as good as it was, but then they continued to produce quality.
Yes.
That's the thing.
But Marvel kind of fell into it where Gunn is trying to have this roadmap for his DC universe. I don't know if it's going to work. I don't necessarily think it's going to work, but he's trying to make a roadmap out of this thing. And I think starting with Superman is a genuinely good idea because it's really either Superman or Batman you're generally going to start with in DC. I don't know who else you want to really start with.
That would John Stewart, Green Lantern, damn it.
I don't know if I'm testing a Green Lantern movie, honestly, at all.
We just go out of left field and started with Martian Manhunter.
No. Superman's just fucking fine. Superman is a good hero to start with.
Give me Batgirl.
No, they actually shelved that fucking movie.
Just give me a cool girl with wings and a giant mace and just let her hit shit. Like, that's not hard.
I mean, Hawkgirl. That's Hawkgirl.
Oh, Hawkgirl. Same.
Yes. Either way, I don't know. I don't think he's going to make the, like, where it got all MCU-ish, where it's like the same tone for every damn movie. Yeah. I don't think he's going to try to do that, but I also don't think whatever he's doing is necessarily going to work, because people are already kind of done with these style of movies. And unless Superman comes out and it kind of breaks the mold of what the tedium of what's happened with superhero movies, then it's just not going to do well.
It's not. And I think, what everyone needs to kind of get to themselves now is the era of the blockbuster superhero movie is dead. It is dead right now. What we're going to get is pre-Iron Man. Some pretty good ones, like good movies, not great.
I don't trust even them being good movies.
I think we're going to get like what was good by superhero standards back then, though. You know what I mean? Like, not amazing, fun little things. Like, you get to see your comic book heroes on the screen. Mm-hmm. They do some typical, stuff that you would expect from that hero. The story's okay. The acting is B+. Boom. But you're not going to get your $1 billion movies anymore. I think they need to stop assuming that that's going to happen because they suck at writing.
Yes.
That's really what it is. They can keep it going. But there's source material to keep it going. Well, the new source material blows. But there's a bunch of old source material to keep it going that they haven't even touched. Like, give us Crisis of Infinite Earths. Speaking
of touching on things, you're probably touching the thing we have on a fucking ticker on the bottom of our screen. I mean, you wanted to talk about Emma Stone winning for this movie.
Yes. Yes. I'm sorry. I'm going off on my tangents. Before we jump into Emma Stone being a disgusting human, we are going to say hello to everyone again that is watching. Please, if you see on the bottom, share the show. Go subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on X at Alex Cuesta Show. If you're watching this on X, thank you. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you. And if you have any comments, you have any questions for us, leave it on X right underneath here. We will talk to you. We'll say hi. David bites. I don't know if I do. I do not bite. But definitely thank you for watching and all that. But I want to jump into, like David said, the ticker. So we're talking about the Oscars. David brought up the stuff. Jimmy Kimmel is stupid. And one of the other things that occurred is, like David said, Oppenheimer cleaned up, got 7. And for all intents and purposes, like David said, there was no competition, but Oppenheimer was a very good movie. So it was always going to win Oscars. It was how much? And I think in almost any year, it has a chance. Maybe
it has a chance, but I think in other years there's more competition.
I mean, maybe not in the years like No Country for Old Men and There Will Be Blood like that. Those are rare years those are the years where Oscars actually had good movies up for it, and you don't have like one good movie and obscure bullshit. But the movie that Emma Stone won for is what I'm going to qualify as obscure bullshit. Poor Things. Basic synopsis. Emma Stone's character, who I think is named Bella in the movie, is dead, dies, and an infant's brain is implanted into her body in order for her to come back to life. Now, that has the ability to potentially be a pretty fucking cool sci-fi movie, right? Grown person body, infant brain in there, trying to figure out, how to do things, right? Infant brains are supposed to mature with the body, are supposed to be able to go. That would be a cool little sci-fi thing. But no, this is not about sci-fi. This is about feminism. This is about justice. This is about free sex and love, bitches. Yeah. An infant brain in a grown woman's body is just getting plowed on screen for most of it. It's fucking disgusting. Again, I haven't watched it. I've heard things about it. I took the time to maybe start to watch a clip of Mark Ruffalo pretty damn graphically. Without seeing his dick, though, you're watching him fuck Emma Stone. You're watching her get eaten out. You're watching her masturbate all while not looking at her box. But her tits are out for most of the movie. And keep in mind, this is Emma Stone trying to act as an infant while having sex. If there isn't a more blatant attempt to try and make pedophilia a mainstream thing, I don't know what it is. And now typically in the normal fucking world of yesteryear, this would have gone to Sundance. This would have gone to cons. This would have been panned. Not panned. This would have been raved there. And then they would have screened it to normal people. And they would have been like, get this fucking stuff off my screen. And they would have never seen the light of day after those film festivals, right? That's normal world. In current world, Oscars decides to give Emma Stone an Oscar for promoting pedophilia. And I'm really sad because William Dafoe's in the movie, and I really like William Dafoe. Is it William Dafoe?
Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, Willem Dafoe's in it, and I'm really disappointed because I really like him as an actor. Mark Ruffalo can get fucked. He's terrible. But, I mean, and I never had a problem with Emma Stone before this. She was fine in Zombieland, Easy Ace, fun. I mean, you know, Hangover, with Michael Cera and Superbad.
Oh, yes.
Fine and Superbad. But I mean, like this, it's gross, Dave. I have 2 young girls. This move to push pedophilia is wild, and it's blatant now. You can't say it's not blatant.
So, I'm not going to lie, I really don't care about the concept of this movie.
Thanks for coming to our live stream, everybody. We get great opinions in our content here. Thanks, guys.
No. I have more. I have more to expound on that. I'm saying I don't necessarily care when people make movies like this, mainly because, like, really, I feel like it could have done better with the concept. You put an infant brain inside of any fucking body. I feel like that's a horror tragedy more than any kind of liberation thing. But either way, I mean, fucking people go to weird ass places, but believe me, I understand your opinion on it, and I'm not saying it's wrong at all. But generally, I'm just not going to I'm not necessarily going to kill Emma Stone for having a role on this or that. I am going to kill Mark Ruffalo for killing the Hulk. He fucking
Mark
sucks.
Ruffalo fucking sucks in general.
But overall, I mean, I guess she did well because she won an Oscar for it. But I wasn't interested in the movie in the first place. It doesn't scream to me as anything I'd want to watch in any way. But I don't know. It's something that I'm not necessarily going to get up in arms about. But I am just going to say, like, I just wish there were better ideas happening. Because, like I said, this could be a genuine tragedy or horror kind of movie that really evokes a lot of emotion off of whether or not it's even a good thing to try to explain things to an infant when it's not exactly at a learning stage of its body. It's at a state of its body where it's already there. And I mean, maybe it's technically going there with the sexual stuff, but I mean, infants aren't generally sexual anyway. They wouldn't necessarily, I don't know.
But in their way of thinking,
yes, I know.
Way of thinking,
yes, I know.
They love to say that children are just little adults.
Yes.
So what does that imply? Children
Yes.
can have sex.
Yeah.
That's all that implies. And now they're putting that on the screen, their theory right there.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, the idea there could be explored in a fucking fantastical way, and it probably has in other movies, and I'm just not movie literate enough to know. But
I mean, you're just not literate.
That's fair. But I'm just not necessarily going to care as much about it winning an Oscar because, like, the Oscars are irrelevant anyway. So
just want to say hi to Colton. Yes. What up, buddy? Thank you for saying hello. Thank you for dropping in. We appreciate you. For the Fans podcast, go check it out. That's one that he's involved. They stream, I think, same day as us, Wednesdays around 5. Mm-hmm. So go over there. Football podcast if you like football. But I mean, I get the Oscar part about them winning an Oscar is less about it, right?
I know.
It's the fact that it was created in the damn first place in this way.
Yeah, but the thing is, I'm not surprised it was created. The reason why I'm like,
could you imagine if Tom Hanks and Big just started fucking things?
I get it. Look, I get it. No, I do. But, like, to me, it's just like, okay, well, we know what the people who created it think about this now, right? Because they're not hiding out in the shadows of it, and that's fine. Like, for me, it's fine to know what they think because it's like, okay, now we can fucking just
even
stay
Harvey
away from
Weinstein is in his jail cell going, I wouldn't have done that. That's fucking gross, guys. Like, he's sitting there, he's like, man, I had Emma below me to make real movies, not this. Like,
Yeah, but that's why my necessarily opinion on this
Just
is
as a little thing, I have no evidence if Emma Stone ever blew Harvey Weinstein. That's a joke. It's a joke. Emma, don't sue me. But I have no disclaimer, no actual evidence. Telling a joke. Sorry. But
yeah, but that's why usually when it comes to like artistic things, there's not necessarily a boundary. Mainly for
artistic.
What?
With the way that they did it, would you consider it art?
Yes.
It's softcore porn, Dave. Is softcore porn art? Would you consider Skinamax art?
No, you're not listening to the argument. Because what I'm saying though is
Going boomer on you.
No, yeah, exactly. They took the time to put these sets together, to put these camera shots. That is an art form in and of itself, no matter what the fucking the experience is and what the narrative necessarily.
Porn put sets together.
They do, and it's. I mean, but it could be a whole different argument. Either way, it's still an art that they are putting out there, and I'm not necessarily one to put a lot of boundaries on it, mainly because, look. It's good to see where people's heads are at, because then you know what their possibilities are and what their potential is for what they could want to do in the world. So I don't know. That's just how I feel about these types of things.
I mean, yeah, it's better to know where people stand. And it's like, again, are we surprised that Mark Ruffalo participated in pedophilia? No, he's a commie. Like, he participated in something promoting pedophilia.
You're gonna have to say you don't mean that either.
No, I don't give a fuck. Fuck Mark Ruffalo. Honestly, I don't care. That guy is an absolute moron.
I just don't want you to be sued.
With Mark Ruffalo, I have to say, for an actor, he's a shitty book narrator. So I want to say, okay, so side story. I was listening to Bernie's book. I forget the name of it, but I listen to audiobooks. My job, I'm driving a lot. And I was listening to Bernie's book. And I want to say the first...
Bernie who?
Bernie Sanders.
Thank you.
And everyone knows who Bernie is. Not we.
No, they don't. I guarantee you they don't.
Bernie Sanders he looks like George Burns. Anyway, I digress. Listening to Bernie Sanders' book and about his campaign in 2016 is the one he got shafted in the Hillary campaign, right? 2016. Yeah. And it was actually pretty damn interesting. I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm not a Bernie Sanders fan at all, but Bernie was narrating it. And it was like, interesting, a decent book, just reading about his experiences and things like that. And for whatever reason, they decided that for the second half of the book, Mark Ruffalo was going to narrate it. And, he jumps on, and I'm thinking, okay, it's Mark Ruffalo. Like, I've enjoyed some of his movies or whatever. He's a decent actor in certain things. So it's like, regardless of how much of an idiot he is, I'm fine with listening to this. Dave, he's fucking insufferable. He is a terrible book narrator. He killed the whole book for me. I didn't finish the book. And you know me, Dave. I like reading political books. I like reading philosophy. Like, I read boring ass philosophy books in audiobook being read to you. Like, Mark Ruffalo was awful. And I'll never I can't break that. It's like, dude, you're an actor. You talk all the time. Your whole role is to talk and be interesting.
Doesn't necessarily mean he's a voice actor, though, because that's pretty much voice acting.
It is in a lot of ways, but I was actually just surprised and just a little bit mad. I'm like, how are you going to ruin this guy's book? He already got fucked out of a candidacy, and now you're going to sit there and I mean,
Bernie's an old man. He probably didn't have the wind to go to second half.
I mean, guy was going to be president. Finish a fucking book, dude.
Or maybe he was busy. Maybe he was actually fucking busy.
I'm just mad at Bernie that I'm angry at you, Bernie Sanders, that I couldn't finish your book because you tapped the worst orator in Hollywood to read the second half of your book. So, I mean, I think that's where my real vendetta against Ruffalo comes. He ruined a book for me. Not the fact that he's a commie. The fact that he ruined a book for me. So maybe that's it. But overall, yeah, I'm not a big fan of, just what Poor Things represents. And I'm not a big fan of them trying to really continue to push this whole entire movement with trying to make pedophilia okay. It's not something that's good, and I just think it's gross. Yep. So that is just me. So before we jump out of the show, Dave, I hope your thing works, but we just want to close out with something that we think is really fucking cool. Dan Vasc hides out in Brazil, and he creates. He's a very good singer, good friends with Gary from Nerdrotic and the Geeks and Gamers crew. When Toriyama passed away,
no, this is from 6 years ago. He did this 6 years ago.
He did this 6 years ago.
Yeah, he already covered this song 6 years ago.
But then he added the video.
Well, Gary Chan, the editor for Nerdrotic, made this.
Yeah. Okay. So it's a combination between those two, but it's Dan Vasc covering Chala Head Chala, the intro for Dragon Ball Z, and then Gary cutting in a bunch of different videos from it. So that's how we want to end out the stream today. We want to put this up here, and hopefully this makes noise. So Dave, start playing it. Let's see if we hear anything.
Fly away, fly away. 体中に広がるパノラマ。顔を切られた地球が起こって火山を爆発させる。溶けた氷の中に恐竜がいたら玉の西子みたいね。チャラチャラ何が起きても気分はヘロヘロカッパ。チャラチャラ胸がパンチパンチするほど騒ぐゲームジェットコースター落ちてゆくよパニックのその絵景色逆さになると愉快さ山さえお尻に見える生ふ時間はないよどこかに潜むびっくりに会いたいからチャラチャラ頭からこの方が夢詰め込めるチャラチャラ笑顔ウルトラ Z で顔もチャラチャラ何が起きても気分はヘロヘロカッパチャラ胸がパチパチするほど騒ぐゲームきたますバカ
Thanks.
For what? I should be thanking you, Kakarot.
Nah, what do you mean? I loved every minute. Goodbye, my friend.
So that was the incredibly talented Dan Vasc singing a great version of Chala Head Chala. Thank you, Gary Nerdrotic, cutting that together, who is a newly found anime fan. And
no, Gary Chan did it. Gary does not care about Dragon Ball Z. His editor, Perry Chan, did it.
Perry Chan,
he loves Dragon Ball Z.
Thank you, Perry Chan. We appreciate that, and just everything there. So, yep, that's how we want to end this one out. I thought it was appropriate with how we started. So it's good with how we ended. We want to thank everybody who decided to watch today. We really appreciate that. We'll be back next week. We plan to have a guest. If not, you're stuck with us again. and we'll see everybody again. So please, if you like what you heard today, give us a like, share, follow, subscribe, rate 5 stars over on Spotify and iTunes. Smash the like button here. Subscribe on YouTube. If you're watching on X, go give us a follow on X over at The Alex Cuesta Show. Find us on every social media network. Just search The Alex Cuesta Show. And we'll see you guys later. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. So long.